your mics are live as we're getting ready to share everything again.
Fred, you were number one, buddy.
Oh, sorry, Fred. I know you got the spinning wheel of death, but we had the wrong title. Is that like a Ferris wheel? Like from the State Fair of Texas or something? Yes, we're back. Yes, we're back, Fred.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry about that. Oh, yeah. Guys are ready. So does that mean we get to do puns? Good morning, Michelle.
Are we ready to
Fred,
do the intro?
Sharon,
Man, I'm ready
Cleo.
to party and rock and roll.
Go for it, Charles.
Live from VentureX Studios in Frisco, Texas. It's JP, Kathy, and the crew.
Do ya? Well, let's try it again. Good morning out
my
there
mic.
to
Hey,
you.
now we've got
Hey.
live mics.
There we go.
So when we're getting ready and we're doing the intro, we have no live. Our mics are live. But then when it's time for us to talk,
It's not live. No. And Chuck, I'm waiting for you to give my display permission
Well, I don't
to
even know what
scatter the
display number you
screen.
are.
I am .85.
Okay.
Today, .85. If you want the secret code into JP, Kathy, and the crew and what's going on behind the scenes, .85. And if
We
you
don't
can
even
figure
know
that
this.
out. And Fred, you're right. The title did look a little bit familiar. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Wacky Wednesday. Weird Wednesday. Wedding Wednesday. Chuck, will you marry me?
Where'd you get
What?
that?
I don't know. Just kind of fun.
Is it Wines Day Wednesday?
Nice.
Is it Wine Day Wednesday?
Wine
that
Day
could
Wednesday.
be. Maybe I'll go have a glass of wine after the show.
We still
Is
haven't gotten any-
9:30 too early for wine?
We haven't. I
Yes.
don't know. But we
What
haven't
if it's
gotten-
Sacramento?
Because aren't you on allergy medicine and like headache
Oh, yeah.
medicine?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not. I would
Hey,
not
Cole
recommend
McKellar. Good
mixing all
morning, Cole.
those.
Welcome to the show.
Would
Good to
not
see you.
recommend that. Good morning to the crew. So do we have folks chiming in?
Oh man,
Yeah,
they're
good
already
morning,
trying
I
to
Michelle.
love
say
it.
good
I
morning.
love it. I
Now,
love
for
it,
some
and I love
reason,
it.
my restream is not showing everything this morning.
Well, doggone it.
wonder
Well,
why
we've got a
not.
big show. While you're getting that fixed, I'll talk about our show today. Big show.
And YouTube.
We've got, yes, and YouTube. Go out and hop on YouTube as well and like and encourage your friends to subscribe to us at YouTube. We're really trying to get our numbers up on that. So,
And we had more people jump on. We had more subscribers jump on, so
we're
that's
very
good.
excited about that.
So,
so we've
Whiskey
got-
Wednesday.
And I thought you said wine Wednesday.
Fred said whiskey.
Whiskey.
Okay, there you go.
Fred said
but
Whiskey
I would still
Wednesday.
not recommend mixing any of those with the medication you've been on for your head.
No,
so
I
there
wouldn't
you go.
either. No.
Colonel Allen West, the Republican Party of Texas state chairman, who we just think the world of. He will be on today at 8:30 a.m. And then at 8 o'clock, we've got Miss El Paso County. She is another of the Miss Texas ambassadors that will be coming on our show every other week. We'll be highlighting another ambassador, and they'll be talking about different charities and organizations around the great state of Texas that you can donate to and help folks out. She'll be talking about North Texas Giving Day. So very excited, Miss El Paso
And a lot going on
County.
with that.
Yes,
That's gonna be
yes,
huge.
yes. Miss Andrea Chacon, and just super excited to have her. We also have Lisa Chastain, who is going to be co-hosting. She and I are going to be co-hosting a women's show about faith and how that plays a part in your daily life and how you survive from day to day, with faith being the main component of that. And I think she's going to be doing a live stream from her house, and then she's actually coming in studio with us on Friday. So lots going on. And it's a show about Texas women.
It is.
We
I'm
like
excited
that.
about that. Also,
We're proud
Hey,
to
John
be
Ebbs
Texas
on. Good
women.
morning, John.
John
on the
who?
chat.
Oh, there I am. Hi. Hi, me.
Hey, good morning to myself.
Well, what's interesting is I'm not allowed on Restream to directly respond to my own stream. And so that kind of stuff.
That's because it's part of the stream.
But I'm able to respond directly to only one Facebook page rather than 3.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's why
Technology.
you're seeing John Edward Payton up there. So
Technology.
But yeah. Good morning to everybody from the crew. Thanks for joining us. Carla Bandy, good morning. Juan,
It's a Wednesday, but it feels like a
Quinones,
Monday.
happy birthday to your daughter, late.
Hey,
And tell
there you
Ashley
go.
hello.
We love their family. We
And
love
David
them.
Mabry's on the feed as well this morning.
Love
Good morning,
it. Good
Dave.
morning.
Love
Good
to
morning.
see you on there.
For some reason, it feels more like a Monday today than it does a Wednesday.
It does.
Like all morning, it has just felt like it should be Monday.
Yeah, I agree. It
Well,
feels
John
like
had a
Monday.
long weekend.
I had a long week.
Oh, yes.
88 boxes of books.
And welcome back
Oh,
to the
wow.
studio. We're very happy you're back.
Thanks.
I don't know how that many boxes is in one room of your
88
parents' house.
Boxes of books. And that's not everything packed in that room. That was just the books.
Well, now what size of those
Oh,
boxes
my
are they?
goodness.
Are
They're the small
they're the
boxes. They're considered
small.
small boxes because who wants to lift a huge box of books?
Exactly.
You can't.
So, but I mean, it's the books. It's like what you would pack your office with.
Right.
You know, those
That's a
kind of
lot.
boxes.
That's
Sounds
a
like either you're going to set up a
lot.
library or you're
I'm
going
going
to
to
be
for my
donating
dad.
to a library.
He's going to do a little bit of both. He's got some duplicate books.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
Well, good.
A lot going on out there in the world. But one of the things I think probably taking the headlines this morning is going to be Hurricane Sally.
Yes.
Would definitely
Yes,
ask
landfall.
all of the crew to put your hands together in prayer and pray for the families that are going to be along the coast of Alabama and Florida. The Panhandle, right now, Pensacola, by the way, if you have not heard, is underwater. And I know, Coach Quigley, you understand the anxiety that goes with that, living out on a coast yourself and having to deal with that here just recently with a lot of your neighbors and so forth going through the process of having to deal with the floodwaters. They're expecting 35 inches of rain. Put your money on that one.
I can't even wrap my head around that. In how much
inches
time?
in less than a day.
That's a lot.
Again,
right?
Pensacola already underwater.
Yeah, that's scary.
The hurricane hit the beach line and gained momentum to the point where it became categorized as a Category 2. Big scary part is 75-mile-an-hour winds. You're looking at, again, 35 inches of rainfall.
That's bad news.
Yeah, the officials there are saying do not go outside and try to assess the damage. Stay in.
Oh, that's what I think. Yeah, do not. Well, I mean, and I would imagine at this point, a large majority of people will have been evacuated.
Well, and a lot did, and there were a lot of mandatory, but then
That's
a lot
what
of
I'm
people,
figuring.
but a lot of people didn't. A lot of people stayed close in.
Okay, we've got a
and
map
so,
up on the screen now of the area impacted.
Well, and
Yeah, that's one of those things. If you are told to leave, if it's mandatory,
Chuck,
I mean,
if you will
obviously,
share my
no
screen,
duh.
please, over here. This is why my back's
if
to the
it's
crew.
mandatory, but even if not, better safe than sorry. You can
Yeah.
replace your home, you can replace your belongings. You cannot replace yourself.
Can you make that a
can't be
big screen, Chuck,
replaced.
for me, please?
Yeah. Sure can.
All right, thanks. Because I want everybody to be able to see this. This is what's going on and what's churning right now.
Wow.
If this gives you any indication at all, 11 hours ago, this is the first one you're looking at here. That's what is starting to hit and get ready to go to landfall. This was 2 hours ago. And if you can see the red and the green in the midst of all of this and just tearing across the panhandle of Florida. Are they able to see my screen as well, Chuck? I know that you've got
they
a
see,
thing.
they
Okay.
see your screen. It's your
So
screen
you
on
can
mine.
see the red going across. That was 2 hours ago. And that's the 35 inches of rain. This is not going away fast. This screen here is 4 hours ago where you can see it just massively covering the entire Gulf Coast between Alabama and Pensacola. And so Hurricane Sally definitely is the topic of discussion. This is a good diagram here showing you where the path lies and what it looks like and how and what kind of damage it is going to cause. And so, again, I would ask you to put your hands together for prayer for all the folks that are going to be impacted up and down the Gulf Coast in Alabama and
God bless 'em.
Pensacola. So
Yeah.
right now, no deaths reported, which is good, and no major injuries reported either, which is also good. So glad to know that in fact has not been an issue yet. Anyways, so lots of rain, lots and lots of rain going on. Good morning, Jesus Raina. Welcome back to JP, Kathy, and the crew. Good morning to Jim Partridge. Good morning, Dad. Melinda has joined us. We haven't seen Melinda in a while. Welcome back as well. And then, of course, Coach Quigley.
Coach.
Good morning, Coach. All right, and we've got Michelle and Gail, kind of the anchors of the crew.
All right,
And,
I love it.
And then, of course, Gail and Steve have got a show that are going to be coming out
Super
very,
excited about
very,
that.
very soon.
Yeah, we've got, we're meeting with another gentleman tomorrow. It looks like we may have our first sports oriented show coming on to the crew, and then coming out to the crew. We've got Creative Arts for Christ. Their show starts this week. We've got, obviously, Dr. Be Good. We've got her show that is every Sunday from 8 to 9. Am I right on that?
Yes, every Sunday
from 8 to 9.
That's right.
Brunch with Ben starts this week. And then what else?
Very excited for Brunch with Ben.
A couple of potential military shows and veteran-based shows in the works, which is a huge passion of ours here at JP, Kathy, and the crew. We've got the mental health moment that's going to be coming back. Just lots of good stuff going on. If you or anybody, the lawyer show.
The
Can't
lawyer
forget
show,
that.
Thursday, 12 to 1.
I tell you what, Jeremy he's entertaining in his approach, so he's fun to watch. But I have learned more about the law in just the last couple of weeks of watching his show. So just kind of takes a common sense approach.
They can send comment or questions to him, right?
They can.
Yes.
They can send questions to him. And Thursday, he'll be live in studio. So you can stream him, hit your questions right there.
Love it.
Or if you send the questions to JP, Kathy, and the crew 3 at gmail.com, I will make sure he has those as well. So I also want to say good morning to little Lisa.
Stuff.
Thank you for joining us, Lisa. And so good morning to you. And good morning to Fred, our friendly neighborhood Yankee.
Fred, who was the first one to comment.
He won
the race for being the first to comment today.
And he gets it.
Wait. You can't brush by that. Our friendly neighborhood Yankee? What?
Yeah, he's our New York Yankee.
Yeah, he's from
he's
from
a New York
north.
Yankee fan?
No. He's from New York.
He's from
New York.
Yeah,
Oh, whereabouts? I mean, I'm not from there.
Brooklyn,
Bronx.
I think the Bronx.
Up north.
I think.
Okay, so he knows what real pizza is. I
Yes,
guess.
he does know what real pizza is.
Yeah, he'll tell you about that too.
Okay.
Yes, but Jeff, so Fred, good morning to you as
morning,
well,
Fred.
and thank you for joining us. Of course, if you're looking down at me and you're going, JP, why aren't you paying attention to us? It's because I'm sending our feed
He is sharing
out.
our feed like crazy.
Like crazy.
Oh, and any of you who had seen the Randy Travis and Mary Travis interview, which we're just so proud of and so honored to have had them in studio, and we're going to be helping them promote their foundation, the Randy Travis Foundation, which is just has the opportunity to do some really good things for kids. We'd had some issues on Facebook. Glad to say that's been resolved, and YouTube, and glad to say that's resolved because we do have the rights to Randy's music. So we're very happy to say that both those shows are or that show on
at least on Facebook it is.
Yes, on Facebook. I don't
know when YouTube does. I don't know if it is or not. If anyone from the crew can go check and see.
Yeah, see if that is. But anyways, Facebook, it's back available in case you want to share that or you want to get that information out. Because I know there are a lot of folks who were trying to share it afterwards and it had disappeared. So Facebook, Facebook has looked at it. Oh, Long Island. Facebook got that issue taken care of. So we're good to go.
We are good
back
to go.
up and about.
So yeah, if you want to catch that interview, we'll repost it. In fact, Chuck, are we able to play that as a rebroadcast today?
We
at
could.
11:30?
We could. I don't know if it'll get flagged again though. That's
well, if they've given us permission.
I know, but since it's a new video.
Okay.
But we could I think we can reschedule the Facebook one and replay
somewhere
it or
that
something.
we've got that we have permission. You would
but
think.
Since it's a new video, their automatic systems just kind of flag everything.
You know, Kathy, have you heard the new movement?
Which one's
burn the mask?
Which one's this? Oh, yes, kind of like burn the bra in the '60s, right?
Well, but I think I might. I don't know. I
can say that because I'm a girl.
Okay. So, do you want me to burn this one?
Oh,
That's the question.
I do not find that funny.
I do not find that funny. I don't understand what she's
there we
upset
go.
about.
I don't know. That's a
know
pretty
what
nice.
she's upset
It's got a beautiful smile.
Charles,
and,
I will
Beautiful
be, I will
smile.
be looking at
Yeah.
Charles and away from the camera
It's
and away
happy.
from John
Happy
the whole
face.
time. That is not
Happy
happy.
face.
That's a jacked up
happy face.
clown. Where did you get that, JP? That's not even funny.
You ready for this?
As my feet have gone numb. My feet have gone numb.
The crew sent it to me.
Oh, thank you very much, crew.
That hurts.
The crew sent it
At to the crew.
The crew sent it to me. Are you sure you don't like this one? This one is happy.
That. And here's
How
the
come
thing.
you got one
and
and
if
I didn't
say
get one?
if I say
Did I
that
get one?
needs to be part of burn the mask, then the clowns are going to come and get me because I'm talking about burning a
would be a good
clown
one.
mask.
That's true. The clowns may come get you.
Send in the clowns.
Ah, don't.
Send in the clowns.
No.
Let the crew vote. What do they think? I kind of like it's happy. Okay.
Oh,
All
JP.
right.
And that's whoever got that one, that is the jacked up clown face that is the reason I'm afraid of clowns.
Oh, no.
Not everybody was Ronald McDonald.
So that's true. But yeah, so Fred was out on Long Island, Hampton Bay.
That's like that's funny. Okay, that's funny. I would find it really,
Here,
really
I'll let the- I'll
humorous
let
if
the,
I weren't
the
terrified of
audience
clowns.
laugh with you.
Yeah, the audience, the audience liked it. I put it
I
away.
can, no, but it's near me. I can.
Is it near
feel
you?
I can,
How
I
close?
can-
It? You want me to throw it over to you?
No, I can feel it. I can feel it.
I'll tell you what. I'll fold it the other direction.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Folding it the other
Because
direction.
that was like
Kathy.
half of a clown, mean clown face. That reminds me. Remember all those crimes being committed and all those clowns that were being found in the woods and stuff like that?
Yes, that wasn't you, was it?
No, goodness gracious, no. I got kind of a little bit in trouble here.
Well, you know.
Having some issues, man.
Having some issues.
I missed that. What was
My
that?
eyes are all watering. There is a funny meme. Did Gail send it to me? Did Gail post it? Somebody did. That was said something like at this point, 20. It's another one of those 2020 memes, and it said something like at this point, if a clown came up to me and asked if I would follow him into the woods, I'd probably follow him. I just thought that was so funny because we're to that point in 2020. And if y'all seen the meme, I'll have to find it and see if I can pull it back up and share my screen. It says on November 1st, I will not be turning my clock back because I do not want an extra hour of 2020. Some of the 2020 memes are
Funny.
hilarious.
Look, there's what's that emoticon?
Oh,
Now,
Oh,
Shade,
there's a
Ray, come on.
clown.
Shade,
There's
that
a
was
clown
pretty good.
emoticon too.
Good morning,
Kathy
Chip
the
Howell.
Clown Slayer.
That's probably the truth.
that's
Chuck, if you'll
funny.
flip over to my screen, something else worth of note to talk about is the fact that President Donald Trump was able to create peace in the Middle East, or at least a small part of it anyways. Israel now signs a peace accord with the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain, and historical. As you can see, there's a picture of the White House and the Oval Office where that has been accomplished and taken care of. And there's, look at Miss El Paso County.
Hey.
So,
We're
I'm
getting ready to
on
have her
your
on in
screen.
just a second.
all right.
About to have
They
Miss El
couldn't see her. I
Paso
just was
County
getting things
on.
ready.
Very
Oh, you're just getting
excited.
things ready.
Getting
Well,
things
she's in
ready.
the background there. We're
And
getting ready
we've
to
got
bring
to
her
love
on.
that Miss El Paso County. So it's even 7 o'clock where she is.
Yes.
So-
Trust me, I know. When I was getting up in Phoenix,
So we're loving her.
Kathy, let me tell you. Woo, buddy.
Oh, well, do we want to go and bring her on?
We can. Miss
All right.
Chacon, are you ready to come on?
I think she said her audio was off.
Oh, is her audio off?
I think it's.
What a beautiful ambassador. Good morning,
She
Miss Chacon.
is.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
I don't think she can hear us yet. She had sent me a text saying she couldn't.
Well, let's see if we can't get the audio working.
All right.
Let's see if we can get that fixed. Anyways, while Chuck is dealing with that, again, huge peace accord signed. Usually where the UAE goes, a lot of other Middle Eastern countries will go. And President Trump nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize for this process. To not have a decade of war in the Middle East is going to be amazing, by the way. I was talking with a friend of mine who is a Democrat, and I mean a staunch Democrat, and her commentary was, I can't vote for Joe Biden this year. I can't vote for a Democrat. The Democratic Party is too left for me.
And she is one of many who has voiced that, JP.
Yeah, and she told me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how his heart is, because I know what he's going to do, and he's going to be a teleprompter president. And so
interesting.
Yeah, and she's with a think tank. I mean, this is somebody who's a public figure. In fact, I think she's going to be later on Fox News talking about this. So we may end up getting her on JP, Kathy, and the crew as well.
I tell you, you hear more and more people who are asking about that, and I know I'm not. Maybe a little bit later today, we can talk about some of the other things going on as far as this being people saying that this is, now they're referring to this as the Harris-Biden administration administrative ticket. Lots going on there, and I'm telling you, and again, while we're out there knocking on doors for Victory 2020, more and more people are saying that they just don't feel like they have a home any longer, because the Democrat Party has gone to this socialist / communist, almost Marxist movement, and in some instances very Marxist. And they're like, I'm kind of stuck, because obviously I'm going to vote, and I've had a couple of people say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and vote for President Trump this time. At least I know he likes our country.
Well, and again, how do you now go back?
And these are, again, hardcore folks on the left who are saying this.
How on earth can you go into the voting booth with a good conscience and not recognize what President Trump has done? Now, don't get me wrong. I understand you get fired up when he gets on Twitter and does some things on Twitter, and I do too. I mean, Kathy knows this is my bone to pick with him. It's kind of like, dude, let others do your tweeting. Stay off Twitter. But the bottom line is that President Trump has created something that nobody else has been able to do, including Joe Biden, and that is peace in the Middle East.
Right, and you can't deny him that, and the fact that he's been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. And we've talked about this. Do we have Miss El Paso County yet? I'm working
on the sound.
Oh, gotcha.
All right,
okay.
so we're just gonna get the sound worked out.
So, but I mean, you can't deny his record is his record, and then you go back and you look at Joe Biden. Well, his record of his 47 years in service, I mean, compared to what President Trump has done just in a handful of years, there's just no comparison.
Right, there is none.
And everything, that President Trump does, it's focused on putting America first, which guess what? We're America, so that's good stuff.
Well, and when you also take a peek and you look at the economics of what's happened over the last 3.5 years. So COVID-19 hits, right? And it devastates the country. 22.6 million jobs lost. So we start to come back, and we have seen 10.5 million jobs come back now that President Trump has brought back. Oh, do we have Miss El Paso County?
We hear sound.
Are you there, Miss Chacon?
Hello. Can you guys hear me now?
Hey, good morning.
How are you? So we have Miss El Paso County, Miss Andrea Chacon. Did I say that correctly?
You did. Thank you.
You're welcome. What's a beautiful name. I want to make sure I say it the right way. You are one of and we've been talking about this in the last couple of weeks, that there's a small group of young women who are currently serving as different, crown, what would you get? Different pageant winners from the different cities and counties around Texas. And then a group of y'all have been chosen to serve as ambassadors for the Miss Texas pageant and promote goodwill across the state, because this is an odd year. We've got Chandler, who we all love dearly, who is serving her second year as Miss Texas. But there are also now opportunities for the Miss Texas ambassadors to get out the good news about what y'all are promoting with the Miss Texas pageant. So congratulations on being chosen as an ambassador, and thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, thank you so much, and good morning. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
No worries.
I am glad to be here.
Worries.
Title holders around the state who represent this wonderful state of Texas. each in their own communities, of course. And this year I've been blessed to be named as the Texas Cares for Children Ambassador, as you mentioned, which is an honor because I absolutely love what this organization stands for. And I guess for those who do not know, we are a nonprofit and we do all about character building education and going to schools and talking to students about peer pressure or drug and alcohol abuse or different topics, that are very important both in personal and professional lives. And we also give scholarships to high school students. So I am very blessed and excited for what this year has to come.
What does it look like to be an ambassador for the Miss Texas pageant? What does that look like to Miss El Paso County?
So for me, I've been doing school appearances ever since I started with the Miss America organization. That's been one of my favorite parts of the job, going to schools and talking to students.
Uh-oh.
We can see where her internet connection kind of dipped down and
Dipped.
Well, let's get her back. Of course, welcome to Zoom technology and the era of Zoom. So for sure that absolutely can happen.
Yeah, we'll get her
But
back.
we've
on.
got her.
Oh, there we go. I think we've got her again.
Whoop.
You got me back?
Yes. There
Yay!
you are.
Success.
As I was saying, when I go into schools, I try to speak on my platform, which is called Women Just Want to Be CEO. We've all heard that question when we were growing up. What do you want to be when you grow up? And normally we hear answers like astronauts, veterinarians, doctors, teachers, and all of those things are absolutely wonderful. But when have you heard a kid say, I want to be a CEO? Or in other words, I want to be a leader. So it's about going into these schools and teaching kids a new word, a new vocabulary word, something that they can strive to be, because we really can create our future leaders. So it's about having them believe in themselves, and the skills that a leader has are right there in the word CEO. C for confident, E for educated, and O for outstanding. So that's what, for me, Texas Cares for Children, being an ambassador, that's what I want you to do in my community. Go and reach out to more adults and young adults and children and teach them a new word and tell them, it's never too late to become a leader.
And that's so true. That's so
Absolutely.
true. Now, you also, along with being Miss El Paso County and along with being an ambassador for the Miss Texas pageant and for Texas Cares for Kids, you're also in the industry of news. So you've got, tell us more about that.
Yes, so that happened on accident, and it actually happened because of the pageant that I did. I've always been very busy with the Miss Texas organization and going around my community and doing presentations and public speaking, etc. So they kind of found me. I work for my local news station here in El Paso called KTSM, or Channel 9. And it was kind of an accident. And honestly, I discovered a passion in something that I didn't know I loved, but it's been so great and wonderful. And I've loved the experience here. I've learned to do so many things. So far, I've done digital producing. I have my own show called My News Now, where I do daily updates on national and local headlines. I also produce and edit, and currently I'm actually learning to do weather forecasting. So stay tuned for that.
How great. Well, we want to keep up with you and hear about all these exciting things you've got going on. Thank you so much. That's fantastic.
Well, okay, so I've got to know the truth.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the truth has to be
I didn't
known.
warn her about this.
So you did?
I did not.
You did not, yeah.
Oh, doggone it.
The truth has to be known. Do you get to talk to Jesus when it comes to the weather?
I wish I could. I wish I could totally say yes, but unfortunately, it's a lot of math and numbers.
So it's not that you get to talk to our Holy Father. You just have to do math and numbers.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
You really have to be good at those numbers and being able to predict. But I mean, if it were that easy, we could all forecast the weather, right?
Right. Well, I was just kind of hoping that maybe.
It's like, where'd you get this from?
Well, I'm just thinking maybe we can get somebody that can get the weather right.
Oh.
It seems to change so fast in Texas. How do you keep up with being a weather person?
Yeah, if anybody can get it right, it's going to be Miss El Paso County.
I hope you're right.
Hey, you're right 50% of the time. That's pretty good. That's better than baseball.
I'm just saying. It just seems like the weather changes so much. How do you keep up with it anyways? So lots of math and science and doing weather then.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So for anyone out there who is into math and science, maybe meteorology school is the place to be for you.
Love it.
I love it as well. Well, Miss El Paso County, a lot going on with giving here lately.
Yes.
And the North Texas Giving Day is coming upon us. Are you being able to be a part of that through the organization that you're supporting? And talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So thank you for mentioning that. North Texas Giving Day is tomorrow, and it's very exciting because one of the largest, donation platforms that we have nationally. And so for anyone watching or listening, I do want to encourage you to donate to Texas Cares for Children because, again, we're all about character building education and helping our future leaders become the best versions of themselves. So I know during these unprecedented times with COVID-19, I'm guilty of it myself. I fall into ordering a lot of takeout or going shopping a lot online because, we really don't have that much to do. So I can give you one more thing to do to add on that list. And instead of ordering takeout or doing online shopping, donate to Texas Cares for Children. You have between today and tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. And you can go to northtexasgivingday.org/Texas Cares for Children.
Which is that link. Point to the point below you.
Oh, yeah. Miss El Paso County, point down.
Point down.
We've got the link
Point
up
say,
on the
go
screen.
to that link right there and donate, please.
Down below, you got me covered. I love it. But go to the link down below to make your donation because, there's nothing better than putting your money where it matters. And that is in our wonderful children who still need to be educated and they need those life skills and values. And of course, like I said, we give out scholarships as well as we are a mentorship program. So by you donating, you're going to allow myself as an ambassador, as well as all of my other fellow ambassadors and Miss Texas to go to different schools and talk to students about important topics and hopefully bring out the best version of those kids.
Children are our most valuable assets that we have.
Absolutely. And I love that the Miss Texas pageant that y'all focus on that wholeheartedly. If there has ever been an organization that is there to promote the well-being of kids, it's Miss Texas Cares for Kids.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So let's put a pause on our takeout and online shopping and donate to children on North Texas Giving Day. I greatly appreciate it if you do.
Great.
All right.
And how can people follow your show?
So I do have an Instagram handle, and it's KTSM on Instagram. And on Facebook, you can go to KTSM, our 9 News page, and you will see our live daily Facebook broadcast with 9 News Now.
Excellent. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Miss El Paso County.
Yes, Andrea Chacon. Thank you so much, Andrea, for joining us. You are beautiful. Continue to be beautiful.
Inside and out.
And do beautiful things out in El Paso County.
I think she's one of our PPEs for the day.
There you go. I like
Positive
that.
person experience.
I like it. Thank you so much, Andrea. We appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate it, too. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your morning.
You too. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
See, what a
You too.
beacon. What a beacon of hope and light.
She really
for
is.
Texas.
She really is. And I love this Miss Texas Ambassador program that and every other Wednesday we will have another ambassador from Texas, from the Miss Texas pageant, who's currently in the running for Miss Texas this year. I mean, these are women who, one of these ambassadors may be our next Miss Texas. We don't know.
Absolutely.
So because I and maybe Susan Schuler, who I know has been watching, she can tell us when the Miss Texas pageant will be. I want to say it's not going to be until sometime in 2021, like maybe closer to the summer or spring. But we're so excited that we're getting this wonderful look into these women who, obviously, yes, you look at them and they're stunning. I mean, just absolutely beautiful. But it's that inside inner beauty, that spirit, that desire to help other people that comes through, JP?
Absolutely.
And it just really shines. And so we're just super excited to be part of that whole scene.
Absolutely. Talking about another scene, Chuck, if you'll go to my screen, please. This will make Kathy happy. Although he's not wearing a clown mask.
So it's not a clown mask.
Yeah, he should be wearing a clown mask.
Oh, yes.
Look at that.
This too.
There you
I was
go.
gonna talk
Big
about this
Tex.
too. I love it.
Big Texas coming back to Fair
howdy,
Park.
folks.
Howdy, folks.
There you go. If you're having your state fair withdrawals, get ready for the
which a lot of us are.
get ready for your drive-through experience. That's
But
right.
I think
Don't
it's
forget.
$25 or something.
Yeah, so
I want to say it's like
$25 fee.
$25 to get your picture taken with Big Tex.
That's just to get your picture, but the drive-through event is free.
And then that's the food portion,
Right.
right? Okay, gotcha.
Right. So there will be food available to go on or to go during the weekends that would normally be open. It will be open again, but you'll be able to drive through. And you can stop for $25 and get your picture taken with Big Tex. That's
Tex.
right.
Howdy,
So
folks.
do you get out of, okay, I'm
Howdy,
confused. Do you
folks.
get out of your car?
No. There'll be no getting up. No.
So how do you get your picture taken with Big Tex? So basically it's a picture of your car with Big Tex?
I would think so.
Yeah.
I can't see them letting people get out of their car.
Like, I wonder, will they let you, like, if you've got a sunroof, are you allowed to pop out of that?
Well, I'm sure.
or-
I'm sure that would probably be. I'll get the State Fair Texas lady back on.
Yeah.
She was super nice.
Oh, we loved her. We loved her.
She
Yes,
was
yes,
super,
yes,
super
yes.
nice. But yeah,
Yep.
so Big Tex is back on his way to the State Fair of Texas with his mask on that says, "Howdy, folks. Welcome to
you
the State
go.
Fair of Texas."
Well, howdy, folks.
It looks
So there you go.
like June. The crowning for the new Miss Texas will be June 25th, I believe, is what Susan has told me, of 2021. So, okay, so it will, and it's exciting. I love that they've got these ambassadors that are still out there spreading goodwill, and even more so. Susan, correct me if I'm wrong. Are there 10 Miss Texas ambassadors this year? Let us know about that. But just what a great program, and
Absolutely.
And I tell you what, we need. They all need to come through and do a drive-through with Big Tex this weekend. Are corny dogs available out there? Fletcher's, obviously.
Yes, obviously, yes.
Yeah.
I thought
mean-
Golden Chick was also.
they
having
also
corn
are
dogs,
Which,
having
how
too.
great is that? Yeah.
still
I
haven't
haven't
seen
been by
any.
to get one yet.
I
Have you
haven't
been?
either.
I
Has
haven't
anybody?
seen any.
Has anybody from the crew gotten one
I've
yet?
not gotten one yet.
Huh.
Not from Golden Chick. I don't know.
So coming up at 8:30,
I've gotten 'em.
we will have the Republican Party Chairman Alan
Yes.
West joining us.
Colonel Allen West.
Luke Trombley, thank you for helping us get Alan West back on, Lieutenant Colonel Alan West back on to talk about what's going on. And our topics are going to be the election less than 50 days away. What do we need to be doing as Texans to
Yes.
elect and re-elect good Republicans?
Yes.
Number two, a wrap-up of the National Convention. Would love to
Yep.
get a feel for what he thought it was like to be in person. One of the few people that could be in
right.
person.
He was one of the 6 from Texas that was actually physically there.
There,
part
yeah.
of it, physically participating.
And then how do we create the messaging for the President of the United States here in Texas so it goes from the President, as Kathy likes to say, to the courthouse?
From the White House to the courthouse.
And so how do we get that messaging across and done? So you want to definitely join us at 8:30 with the RPT Chairman, Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. Dr. Dave will be on Friday here on JP Kathy and the Crew,
as well, Dr. Good.
as well as Dr.
Yep.
Good, who will be covering the educational part of life,
Yes.
while Dr. Dave covers the medical part of life.
There you go. Yeah.
So we've
So
got
much
that going on.
So much going on.
And then also, don't forget our PPE for Friday. I've already got a PPE for Friday. And what is a PPE again? And we're going to let Charles tell you here in a minute, because that's kind of his gig, his jam, his jelly. Person.
PPE
His
is
jam, his
positive
jelly.
person experience.
That's right. And so Chuck, I think, has one. I have one. I think, Kathy,
Oh,
did
yeah.
you say you had one as well, a PPE?
Oh, I can always pull out a PPE.
So-
I'm always looking for
Yeah, it's
those
from
people who
it's
are
from-
making a difference.
It's from a Christian Brothers, and it's also part of the donation thing. And his is like for a 40-day thing, so it's really good.
Yeah. So a lot to talk about on Friday as well coming up. Plus, we have a lot of fun on Friday. Kind of kick off our boots, and we have a few laughs and maybe poke a little
We
fun.
always have a few laughs.
Do we?
Even if we're jacked up on the allergy medicine, which we both are today.
What
Yeah.
about any new? Do we get any new masks? Maybe some.
I'll have another
Some nice-
clown mask. I'll find another clown mask. For
Yeah, that's
Kathy.
a scary one, y'all. That is a very scary one.
I can't wait to celebrate Halloween with Kathy in the studio this year.
Oh man.
And I'm
Halloween.
like looking for
All
escape
right.
routes already.
So I heard
But
that.
there will be no peeps.
No
I-
with
peeps.
that.
Yeah, don't
We
get me
need to
fired
talk
up.
more about peeps because I went back and was looking at the feed. The members of the crew had everybody had a definite story about Peeps and about how it impacted them and was part of their childhood, how it is now. They're saying it looks like they won't be back in production until maybe Easter.
Do they have any clown Peeps?
I don't remember if they
like
have any
clown
clown
Peeps.
Peeps. I don't remember.
I don't want to know.
I don't remember. All right, so some of your school questions. I know that a lot of school questions out there. Good morning, Steve Hatcher, and also good morning again to Chip Howell, who has joined us. Lalani has joined us as well. Good morning to you as well. We do want to get you pushed over to our YouTube page.
Oh, Andrew White is on.
Yeah,
Good
Major White has
morning.
joined
I already
us.
said hello to him.
And so,
And Jackson Turner, good morning.
Steve Hatcher, Peeps are gross. So,
See, now people, you either love them or you just think they're nasty.
Right.
There's
Yeah,
like no,
whoever said
nobody's
that?
like,
Who said Peeps are gross?
Steve Hatcher did.
Steve. All right, Steve. I'm with you.
Oh.
Charles, will you put up our
Not us, Steve.
link tree?
Oh yeah, yeah. The
Address.
link tree. There we go.
If you go to Linktree,
Right above your head.
right above my
John.
head, right there, I'm pointing. Woohoo! Pointing. Woohoo! Pointing. Woohoo! Yeah. If you go to Linktree, you can find all of our social media avenues. We'd love you to join us on Twitch. We'd love for you to join us on YouTube and subscribe to that as well.
Yeah, we're going to try to get to 1,000 subscribers. Maybe we do something special.
Hey, for the
Anybody-
1,000th subscriber?
1,000 subscribers.
Have
I
some
mean,
kind of
once
fun
we get to
party or
1,000,
something?
can't we do something like, have a good thing?
Have a party.
think
Have a
we'll
good
have a
thing.
Have a party.
We could have a good old-fashioned
good
pizza
thing.
party.
Oh, we could
that
have it up
sounds
here
good.
at Venture X.
That's right, a good old-fashioned pizza party right
Oh,
up here at
that sounds
Venture
Yeah,
X for
that's a
the
great
crew.
idea. Oh, let's do that. That'd be a
One of the
blast.
things we might be able to do is get Venture X to put football up. We can come up and we can watch
Oh, yeah.
college football one
There
Saturday.
you go.
And
Yeah,
we
because
could-
I,
If
we
we
could
got
eat
here
pizza.
early enough,
I know
I was
a
going
lo-
to do a little paper football.
Oh, my God.
that's
game.
fun.
So how is the commissioners coming along, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
But I thought we could just play a little game
Well,
on
it's
one of the
interesting.
shows, a
It's
2-minute
interesting
game or
that you
something.
said college football because there are a ton of members of the crew who we're not feeling the NFL. Was talking with a member of the crew the other day. Hardcore NFL football player, loves it. Said that he had to turn off his TV because it was so much political rhetoric. He said that there were NFL players coming on during a sports interview about COVID and about the game who were saying stuff like, well, and in November we need to vote for change and make a change in this country. Well, basically that's them politicking, not for President Trump, obviously, for the other dude. And I have a real problem with that. You know what? I get enough politics in my own life. I don't need you to bring it on. And so this is somebody, and again, this is the ultimate targeted audience for the NFL. Turned it off.
Well, how's the NHL doing?
Turned it off. NHL, are we ready to talk about a little stars?
Well, let's
Dallas
go. Let's run over there.
Stars.
Dallas Stars.
Let me tell you, the NBA has alienated their fans. The NFL is in the process of alienating their fans. NHL hasn't.
Yeah.
They're getting out there and just playing some good hockey, especially with the Dallas Stars. Yes.
Listen to you. Well,
So exciting.
here's the exciting part. You can get over to American Airlines Center and be a part of the Dallas Stars rush to the Stanley Cup. That's right. How do you do that? It's free. They are serving food. They're socially distancing, and you can go into the stadium. In fact, during the Stanley Cup, I plan to go down to American Airlines Center
So awesome.
and be a part of all of that.
Yeah,
And so
that's
I
so
think it
cool.
was, what did they say, Kathy? 16,000 people, I think, are going to be able to
I think
go
that's
into
the
American
number.
Airlines Center.
I can't remember the number. And it's free, right?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
free
which
to go
how
in
cool is
there.
that?
They will have food. And so all we're waiting on right now, Kathy, is
But is parking?
Who
Do they
we
have to pay for
play?
parking?
Probably.
probably. Probably
Okay,
have
so
to
it's
pay
not
for
free.
parking.
Yeah.
But it's free to
okay,
get into
yeah,
American
so-
Airlines
It's
Center.
free to get into the building.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we're waiting to see. Do we play Tampa
Or
or
do
do
we
we
play New York Islanders?
Yep, or do we play the Islanders? So
You know, I'm kind of pushing, I'll be honest with you, for a strong comeback here. I want to see the Islanders.
interesting.
I would love to see the Islanders back in the Cup. And what better team to beat
than
the New York Islanders.
Yeah, that'd be so
Where
much
hockey is such a
How
big deal.
much fun
Monday.
would
Is it
that be?
Monday?
A Texas team to be? Yeah, how much
New
fun
York
is that?
Yeah, somebody on Monday was posting on one of the chats. I can't remember who it was. Said they'd like to see the Islanders and the Stars.
I would.
Yeah,
I'd love to
it'd
see
be
the
a great
Islanders.
matchup.
Maybe Fred.
I'm just happy that it's the Stars. That's and we've
Yeah.
got to give Chris O'Sullivan credit. He is a buddy of ours from a radio station we were with, and whenever we reported on sports, he would come in and talk with us and chit chat with us. He does a national radio show, and he said he predicted all along. He said next year y'all will be in the Stanley Cup and y'all will win. He said that's just that's it. And so when I posted on Facebook the other night, I'm like, Stars win. He was one of the first ones to chime in. I'll remember. And I was like, JP and I give you credit all the time when we talk about the Stars. And here's the thing. Isn't it great, JP, and to the crew, isn't it fun to just enjoy a sport that you love and a team that you love without all the nonsense?
That's right, because it's
I
entertainment.
don't need your opinion.
Entertainment,
yes,
not
because you're
politics. We want to watch politics. We go to the
you watch sports
news.
just like you go to a concert or you watch a movie or a TV show because you want to be taken away from your everyday life. You want that little bit of escapism.
Yep.
And it was so great, Monday night when the Stars were on. We didn't have access because we don't have that particular streaming channel. My husband and I kicked it old school and listened to the game on radio app on my husband's phone. But it was so cool because it truly was an escapism for us, and it was so neat. And it was just, and now if the NHL if anybody has said anything, then I guess I haven't heard about it. They're keeping a real close, tight lid on it. But I think it's been nice because any of the interviews I've seen, they're literally just talking about the good old game of hockey. What a crazy concept,
Well,
JP.
and that's the thing, right? And we've talked about this.
You know?
Remember, I've talked about the NHL was quiet. Everybody else has got bubble issues and they've got this issues. The NHL did it right. There wasn't a big hoopla about it. You didn't hear anybody in the NHL contracting COVID-19.
Well, nobody was whining. They weren't whining about anything, and those dudes are tough as all get out. So they were all about the sport.
They were
that they love so much.
You don't see BLM being plastered all over the place and
they're not
stuff down
talking
your
about
throat.
the election. They're not saying it's time for
They're
this.
not
It's time
painting
for
the
that.
ice a
It's blah,
certain
blah, blah.
color. No,
They're just playing some
They're
good
playing
old fashioned hockey.
So I'm pushing for the Islanders.
Okay,
sorry
that'll
about that,
be-
Tampa Bay.
When is that? When is
Game 6 is tomorrow,
Okay,
7 o'clock.
okay, gotcha,
Well, and that won't be the
okay.
final game because if the Islanders win, it'll go to a Game 7.
Oh, come on.
Now-
they didn't take it all. I mean, they only got one more game to win, right?
Well, Tampa Bay, yeah, but if the New York
Oh,
Islanders,
you mean the
Yeah,
Islanders?
yeah,
Stars.
exactly.
take
the
it home.
Islanders need Game 6, Game 7.
right?
So they've got to win
They would
Game
need
6,
Game
Game
7.
7.
Okay.
You know what's interesting? Rob, who's a member of the crew, who is in Florida, he big Stars fan, big Cowboys fan, big Stars fan, and he and I were texting during the game, and he said, I've waited for years because he's in the Florida and the Tampa, Florida
Right.
area. He said, I've waited for years, Kathy, for the Stars and for Tampa to be in the Stanley Cup playoffs because he was excited at the thought of actually getting to go in Florida and catch a game or two. And he goes, and then this year, he goes, even if it is Tampa, the championship game is being played up in Canada. He's like, I got robbed. He's like Charlie Brown. I got a rock.
Well, but you can show up to the stadium probably in Tampa as well.
Exactly.
And they'll probably do what the Stars are doing.
That's what I'm
you know.
thinking. Yeah.
So, but again,
like,
you haven't heard all of it, and that's what I love about the fact that hockey has just really done its thing, and I appreciate that. Real quick, do we have Lieutenant Colonel Alan West with us, Chairman of the Republican Party of
Just a
Texas?
second.
Let's see if he's out in our lobby.
And yeah,
ready to bring
Leilani
him in.
says, she said, this is why we're still watching
Hey,
hockey.
there he
Go
is.
Stars. Oh, hey, Colonel
There's
West.
our chairman. Good morning, Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Morning. How's everybody?
We are wonderful, thank you. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing very well, above ground and perpendicular.
Amen.
Absolutely. So there is something to celebrate in sports in Texas. The Dallas Stars are in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, that's absolutely awesome, and congratulations to the Stars. I know they came real close to making it into the finals last year, so they came back, and they're another step closer to bringing that Stanley Cup here to North Texas.
Yes.
Well, Chairman West, I know that your time is valuable, and I want to thank you for joining us here regularly on JP, Kathy, and the crew. I know our listeners love the information that you bring to the table, because we have a lot of conservatives that want to make sure things are where we need to be and what we need to be doing. And I think one of the big questions that's come up is what's the wrap up on the RPT convention? Where are we at with that?
Usually the RPT.
RPT.
That's right.
Now I'm talking about the state. Have we wrapped that up? Are we still in the process of some of that still? Where are we at with the RPT convention?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we're going to be meeting the SREC meeting this week down in Houston, Friday and Saturday. And so based upon the Committee of 10 recommendation that came out of the virtual convention, we're moving forward with taking care of the business with the rules and the platforms. And so we'll be going through that through the SREC, and we'll have a survey monkey process that'll be up so that the delegates and the alternates can vote on that. So we will wrap up the business with the rules and the platform this Saturday. It may be a little bit of a late night, but we will push through and we will make sure that gets done, because that's very important to clear that business so that we can be really focused on the November elections.
So,
absolutely.
Chairman West, will there be an email that goes out to the alternates and the delegates? Do they need to go back and sign up for the ability to vote again and be a part of Saturday's function? How do the delegates and the alternates get plugged in?
Yeah, and that information has been out, and we will reinforce that information. And as you know, we have a full transparency, and so there will be a link so that everyone will be able to look and see exactly what's happening with the SREC meeting, which will kick off from Houston this Saturday morning at 9 o'clock for all you civilians.
Now,
why did I know we were going to get military time from the Colonel?
Now, Chairman West, you know you're going to have to tune in to JP, Kathy, and the crew either by podcast or live on Saturdays, because we're about to launch a veteran show. And Major Andrew White from the Army is going to be one of those leading it. And Chuck Wright, a Marine, they're going to be leading that show. So, we're going to have to send you a link so you can watch that every once in a while.
Oh, well, heck, he's military. He can be on the show.
Just make sure you don't put any crayons out in front of the Marine, because he may eat them.
Oh, we're about to have Chuck's about to blow my phone up right now.
Well, Major Andrew White is watching,
my dad's a Marine.
so he appreciates you. He's our Army guy, so he appreciates you, Lieutenant Colonel West, for sure. So
that's funny.
I know that, and I don't want to dwell on it. I just want to make sure. We had some technology issues, of course, trying to scramble for our state convention when the Houston mayor pulled what he pulled down in Houston. Do we have the technology fixed? Are we ready to go for Saturday?
Yes, sir. And I think that with that meeting pulse system, we didn't have enough rehearsals and testing of that system. We're going to look at, I think, the Survey Monkey for this vote coming up, and that's a lot more user-friendly, and it has been tested previously. So I think that we won't have as many complications as we did before.
Very good. And also want to thank your team for being responsive and getting information out there. I received emails and Facebook updates during the state convention as a delegate myself from your team, and want to thank you and your team for doing that.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I mean, that's what we're here to do, is to serve the Republicans here in the great state of Texas, and hopefully we can get some Democrats and independents that want to be part of the We Are the Storm team.
All right,
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah, well, and we talked about this earlier, Mr. Chairman. JP and I were talking about the fact that we personally know Democrats who do not feel like they are welcome in their own party because they have gone so far left. They've gone socialist, almost Marxist in some of their deliberations and doings and statements. So the Republican Party, I mean, you've mentioned this a number of times. We're open to you. Come here, learn more about, why we believe in limited government, why we believe in lower taxes, why we believe in personal responsibility. You've been so great about that. There's a place here for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think every single person in the great state of Texas, if they want to understand what the progressive socialist left and what Marxism is all about and the end result, just look at the capital of the great state of Texas. That's Austin. We found out that this past week that 90% of the live music establishments in Austin, Texas are done. They're not coming back. You go down to 6th Street, the businesses and the establishments there are all boarded up. We know they have defunded the police by $150 million in the city of Austin. The Fraternal Order of Police have even put up billboards that say, "Welcome to Austin, enter at your own risk," because we've seen a 60% increase in crime in the capital city of Austin. Of course, when you get off of I-35 in Austin, it looks like and it smells like San Francisco with all of the homeless situation that threatens the safety and the security of the people there. So I would say to anybody in the great state of Texas, why would you want to replicate the failures of Austin, Texas, all across this great state, which will end up resembling California, which is why a lot of people are fleeing California, Illinois, New York, and New Jersey. And they want to come here for growth opportunity and promise and prosperity.
You know, and I know this wasn't a topic point I sent you, Chairman West, but I'm going to jump out there with you and join you. I don't know if you heard this morning where a Minneapolis city council member has actually verbally accosted the police chief and said, "Hey, our crime is up. We're at 55 homicides now, and when we only had 48 all last year, what are you doing in the police department?" And yet had the nerve to vote to defund the police department in the city of Minneapolis. Did you catch that this morning by any chance?
No, I didn't have a chance to catch that, but I will tell you that's something that's being echoed all across the United States of America. As a matter of fact, you had, I believe, 5 Democrat mayors in Minnesota that have come out and endorsed President Trump. But you look at Seattle, you look at Portland, you look at Chicago, you look at all of these places, New York City, where the crime is increasing because they are releasing prisoners and felons back onto the streets. They are going after our police. As a matter of fact, I think there was another drive-by shooting of a police car in Virginia. I know that there was a federal agent that was shot at in a drive-by in Portland yesterday. So what we are seeing is a simple choice, and I know that I've shared it with you all before. It's the rule of law and law and order against the rule of the mob, which is chaos and violence. And that is the essence of socialism and Marxism, is to undermine law and order and to establish their own order. And they use these mob groups such as Antifa and Black Lives Matter by way of coercion, threats, intimidation, and ultimately violence to get their way. And we cannot allow that to happen in the state of Texas.
Absolutely.
Amen.
So, and I didn't mean to take us off of our topics, but it's just so important what's going on in the city of Austin, city of Minneapolis, Portland, Seattle, that we cannot allow that to replicate throughout the state of Texas.
Right.
And so that brings me to my next question. We're under 50 days to election time. How do we elect good, solid Republicans back into office with all of what's going on?
Well, I think you just make that clear contrast and that clear delineation. And that's one of the things that I try to do, getting out and about. You know, the chairman's message point that I put out every Monday morning. This Monday, we talked about the perversion of the progressive socialist left and some of the policies they're looking to bring even here in the state of Texas. Think about just what recently happened with the Texas State Board of Education, where they wanted to try to adopt this sex education curriculum all across the state, which is really pornographic in nature, which replicates what the Austin Independent School District did down there, teaching 3rd through 8th graders about sodomy. I mean, that's unconscionable to me. So as long as we continue to make that clear delineation and understand that there's no straight party ticket voting in this election cycle, you cannot go in and hit that top box and it says Republican all. You have to stay in there and go down from the White House to, you know, some people are going to have city council and school board elections on their ballot because some of those municipal elections got pushed to this November. So we've got a great opportunity to make some impact with some city council and school board elections. Our Texas State House is so important. There is probably about $20 million, almost 25, that is flowing into Texas to flip our Texas State House. And they're mostly focusing in North Texas between Dallas County, Collin County, Denton County, and Tarrant County. And then also we have our judges. We have 4 state Supreme Court justices that are up for re-election, and we have 3 courts of appeals judges. So that is what we're trying to do, is educate and inform everyone. We're trying to get out, you know, county by county ballot slate so everyone can understand exactly who we're recommending you to go in and lend your support to. And always remember, an empty box is a vote for the progressive socialist left.
It is.
It is.
You know, and one of the things I'm part of the co-chair here with Senator Paxton for Victory 2020 in Collin County. And one of the things we tell people is even if you don't know, maybe there's a district judge position that has a Republican and a Democrat running, and you don't personally know that judge like you possibly personally know, your constable or your JP or your state rep. The vote for that R is a vote for the Constitution, for liberty, for patriotism, for all things conservative. So even though you don't personally know that person, if they've got an R by their name, that stands for something in our party.
Yeah, it does. And I think it stands for something not just in our party, but it stands for something for Texas. Because again, when you look at the Democrats, think about their convention. Not a single one of the people that spoke at the Democrat National Convention condemned the chaos and the violence on the streets. So they own it. This is their Frankenstein's monster. And we have to make sure that they are tied to that. And that's who we have to see. So, sadly, the Democrat Party is no longer the Democrat Party that my parents used to be part of. And John Lewis was my congressional representative growing up in Atlanta. This is a progressive socialist Marxist party. And Black Lives Matter and groups such as that, they're just pushing a Marxist ideology.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the other things, Chairman West, we were wanting to hear was kind of a wrap up of the national convention. And how was it to be in person? What did it feel like? Again, just kind of your experiences, because a lot of us were going to go that weren't able to go, but thankfully we had, 6 live people, boots on the ground.
6 real people there.
You being one of them. So could you kind of give everybody a wrap up for us on how the national convention went?
Well, I will tell you that it was an incredible experience to be there in Charlotte, North Carolina, to see the president and the vice president together on the stage, accepting their respective nominations from the RNC. That was a historic moment. And I think that was a moment that showed that we are unified, we are strong, and to have those two leaders together and not cowering away in a basement, hiding behind a mask or anything like that was really important. But the other thing that came out of that RNC convention was, again, the mob that was out there, and the Charlotte police officers the Mecklenburg County officers did an impeccable job of keeping us safe there. There were some instances of some of our delegates there in Charlotte being assailed, but those people that did so were properly arrested and charged. So I will tell you that as we go forward, throughout that entire week, with the speeches that you saw and everything, you heard about a land of promise. You heard about a land of opportunity. You heard about a land of heroes. You heard about this incredible land that we call home, the United States of America, and think about all the diverse faces that you saw. And one of the things that is absolutely disgusting to me is how the left came back, and all of the Black conservatives that appeared, they just referred to them as tokens and a minstrel show and things of this nature. That shows you that party, the Democrat Party, is truly the greatest purveyors of systemic racism that this country has ever known.
Boy, amen to that. That's for
Truer
sure.
words could not be spoken.
And I was going to ask you, leading from there, the contrast between the Republican National Convention and the DNC. Well, in your opinion, what did you see the major differences being between Republicans and Democrats?
Well, the major difference is that their vision for America, their vision for America is you have to hate Donald Trump. We don't want Donald Trump. They didn't talk about what they want to do for this great nation. And think about this. I mean, let's just talk honestly about Texas. Why would you support a Biden-Harris campaign that wants to embrace the Green New Deal? That means in 10 to 12 years, they want to see the oil and gas industry decimated. They're going to put us on the road to that. The United States of America is energy independent, a net exporter of energy resources because of the state of Texas and our oil and gas industry. But yet, why would someone want to vote for individuals that want to make us more dependent upon other countries than being able to produce, consume, and export our own resources? They want to decimate the economy. So why would anyone in the state of Texas vote for a ticket that would take us from being the 10th largest economy in the world? That's what Texas's GDP is, to being what? Being decimated. When you look at Kamala Harris and the fact that she has said that she will use executive orders to take away the Second Amendment, you think about a person like Kamala Harris who has said that she would ban private health insurance. So all of these things coming together, why would anyone in the state of Texas support this kind of very far left socialist Marxist ideology, and an agenda? So that's, again, one of the key things that we have to do. That's my purpose, is to create and make sure people understand that clear delineation between the two. Hating Donald Trump may get you 40, maybe 45%, but that's not a winning message. Is to just say you got to go out and vote because you hate a person.
And and that is so true. I mean, my takeaway from the DNC was just that. It was dismal, it was hopeless, and it was, we just need to replace Donald Trump. Whereas the
Right.
RNC, I mean, I felt like standing up and saluting about every 5 or 6
Well,
minutes.
and you and I talked about, we did. We gave at our individual homes, we were giving standing ovations to the different speakers, and there was such a wide variety of speakers from all different walks of life, but they all came together under the common love of, first of all, God. Every single person ended their speech with "God bless America." The Democrats left under God out of the Pledge of Allegiance. So, by the way, it's not the Pledge of Allegiance. It was just so different. It was all about loving God and loving America.
Yeah, no, you're right, and it reminded me of that commercial that Ronald Reagan did when he said, "It's morning in America." And so,
Yes.
for one party, the Republican Party, it's morning in America. The sun is rising. For the other party, I mean, we're going into a dark age. That's all it is.
Right.
Amen.
Right.
Well, Chairman West, anything you'd like to leave the voters and the supporters of the Republican Party with this morning here in North Texas? Any message you'd like to leave us with?
North Texas is the focal point for the world. And why do I say that? Because whatever happens in North Texas, that will affect what happens in Texas. And whatever happens in Texas affects what happens in America. And whatever happens in America affects what happens for the world. So here in North Texas, we've got to make sure that we do not allow the progressive socialist left to flip our Texas State House. We have to come out strong and make sure that we are supporting our justices and our judges. We have to make sure that we're supporting the president, our senatorial and U.S. Representatives that are out there, our congressional candidates, because they're looking to take away a couple of seats up here. So that's the importance of North Texas. And that's why I'm so honored to be a citizen of Texas and live in North Texas, in Garland, because we are at ground zero. And we will continue to fight. I know that there's a lot of things down in Harris County that the clerk down there is trying to do, and we can have another conversation about him later on. But we're not going to allow them to have the mail-in balloting and to try to undermine our democratic process here in the great state of Texas. So we will fight the left on that issue tooth and nail. But remember, no straight party ticket voting. You have to go down the entire ballot. And if our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and police officers can be out there pulling these long shifts, standing on freedom's ramparts for you, the least you can do is give away an hour or an hour and a half to stay in that line and stay in that voter booth until you complete that ballot.
Boy, isn't that the truth?
Well, I tell you,
Well
our
said.
our Facebook feed has blown up, and YouTube has blown up with comments about he is great. Thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you for pushing and talking about the importance of the judicial races. So everybody on Facebook's giving you lots of thumbs up today.
Well, tell them keep up the fight. Remember, October the 3rd, October the 5th, you got to be postmarked for your voter registration. And October the 13th starts the early voting. But we're trying to push back against that additional week of early voting that was granted at the request of the leftists here in Texas. We just want to stick with the 2 weeks of early voting. So be on the standby for that.
Well, and if we could get you back on, Chairman West, and talk about the mail-in balloting, what's going on in Harris County, and what may very well be going on in Travis County as well.
That's scary.
So would love to have you back on to talk about that. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely, my pleasure. I'm here at your service.
All right.
Well, we
Well, thank
appreciate you. Have a blessed day,
God
sir.
bless you, Chairman West. Thank you. All right.
Bye-bye.
RPT Chairman Alan West
Just such
joining
a
us
good
here on JP
man.
Kathy and the
Such a good
crew. And
man.
I mean, you heard it from him, Kathy. I mean, we've got to get busy. We got to get busy from the top of the ballot to the bottom of the ballot.
Absolutely, yeah, from the White House to the courthouse. And here's the thing, and he talks about this, and he's so good at this. He's trying to push Republicans to get out of our comfort zone and to make sure that we are talking to everyone. Okay, so JP, I'm going to talk to you. I already know how you're voting. My goodness, I've known how you've been voting for over 30 years now. Same with Charles. I know, members of the crew who are good friends of ours. We're talking amongst ourselves, which is good because we're keeping each other motivated and pumped up and excited, especially when the other side is showing us nothing but doom and gloom. But you've got to go and talk to that person who you're getting checked out with at the grocery store.
Right.
Talk to somebody when you're pumping gas. That's why I've got a couple of Our Liberty is on the Line t-shirts from Collin County that I wear because it strikes up a conversation. When I go somewhere and I'm wearing my Trump hat, it starts a conversation with somebody. Don't be afraid to have those conversations because more people, it's what we're referring to it as that silent majority. Everybody's been kind of quiet about it. We can't be quiet. We need to talk with friends at church. And even if you're doing online services right now, I know you're still in touch with your friends at church.
Well, you can also type into the bar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just mention. Charles was kind enough to invite me to a special mass on Monday that I went to, and it was one of those things. It was even the priest said, "You need to vote this November, and you need to vote for the person who supports life. You need to vote for the person who supports our country." And I was like, "Wow, that's." Pretty doggone close to an endorsement of our current president, President Donald Trump, and you don't hear that at the Catholic Church. You don't hear that at many churches,
right.
And I'm not. And again, I'm not. I get separation of church and state, but Christians cannot stay at home, even if there's maybe something you don't like about somebody. The fact is, these are people who support the Constitution, who support freedom of religion. You want your freedom of religion taken away? Boy, howdy.
Well, and let's talk about how
vote for that other side.
Right. And let's talk about how bad it's gotten, right? It's gotten so bad that these groups do not mind. And again, protesting is different from rioting.
Amen, brother.
Right.
Preach it.
Yeah, from rioting and from committing violent crimes against humanity. And one of the things that I see is just where we've gone with all of this. First of all, it's the statues, where we started getting rid of statues. Charles, would you share my screen, please? We're going to give credit to KIRO in El Paso, Texas, and for Charles Gura for giving us this information. But this is a lead into if we don't stop this now and send a clear message, this is where our country is going. Yeah. And this is a depiction of, not a depiction, this is the statue of Jesus Christ that had been destroyed at a Catholic diocese or at the Catholic Church, St. Patrick's Cathedral.
Yeah, the cathedral. That's the chair of the bishop.
Right. A statue destroyed of Jesus Christ. And how have we gone from where we were at 10 years ago, which it seems like we were light years ahead of ourselves 10 years ago, and where we are today, where now everybody's a racist again, and we're going to start taking down Confederate soldiers. Well, and then if we don't like you,
we've gone backwards. It's like, if you aren't with us, then you're against us, and we're going to burn you down. We're taking you down. What? I mean, I'm sorry. The America I grew up in, we are not a perfect people. We don't ever proclaim to be. But JP, my goodness, this is the land of opportunity. This is the greatest country on God's green earth. It is what it is. We're not perfect, but when did it get to the point where we couldn't have a conversation and agree to disagree on some things?
Right. Well, and it started with, let's take down statues that depict Confederate soldiers. Yeah. And actually, let's go a little bit further back. Let's go back to battlefields. All right. Let's go back to Mississippi. Mississippi. The battlefield there in Vicksburg, where they took down the Confederate flags. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a Confederacy guy. That's not my point. My point is that that's our history. Why did we start taking those things down?
You can't erase history. My goodness, they wanted the Emancipation Proclamation statue. I mean, I was going there. I mean, I don't get
but we started with the Vicksburg battlefield, Gettysburg battlefield. Then we moved to Confederate statues. Then we've moved to let's get rid of Abraham Lincoln and the Emancipation Proclamation statue. And then Emancipation Proclamation became a bad word somehow.
And again, it's like people can't even, some of these, and I notice it's a lot of these, and they're not protesters, like you said. These are rioters. I'm
Right.
sorry. You know, you're
Looters
destroying.
and
Yeah,
rioters.
you're destroying personal property, or you're screaming in somebody's face and cussing, and you're a rioter. I don't get it, because it's like if they would just Google, you know, a couple of historical points and pull up a credible site that has here are the historical facts.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
And they don't. They just go on the raw emotion and the feelings from a 140 character tweet that they see, and
Right.
everybody runs with it, and nobody fact checks anything. Before I get all excited about something, upset, mad, sad, happy, one way or the other, I'm going to say, you know what? Let me see. Let me check out the facts. Let me see if this is legitimately. Let me see if this is the real deal. They act first, and then I would say ask questions later. They don't ever ask questions, and then when they're confronted with, well, the actual truth about what's going on here is this.
Right. So the statue, again, of Jesus Christ, taken down, broken, dismantled, and that's where we've gone to now. And so we've gone from let's attack what's going on in our battlefields and try to change that up, to Confederate soldiers, let's take those down, to let's take down Abraham Lincoln because he represents bad, and now we're taking down Jesus Christ. Someone help me out here. I'm as confused as a goat on AstroTurf.
I mean, who can go in and destroy? I mean, even if you're not a religious person, you know, we all are. So, you know, and Charles and I are Catholic, and so we really, none of us can comprehend this. I would hope that even if I were not a religious person, which again, I can't look at life from that perspective, but even if I were not, what part of anything out there in society tells me that it's okay to go in and destroy what somebody else believes in?
Well,
I mean, wouldn't that be similar to going into the Guggenheim and just start destroying works of art?
Yeah,
or the
exactly.
Getty, or the Getty,
Exactly,
going to
yes.
the Getty, do the same thing.
I mean,
So what it comes down to is lack of respect. It's what the sheriff out of Milwaukee has talked about
for years,
for the last 10 years. It's, you know, we don't need to necessarily retrain the police. You need to train your children, because when a police officer says stop, you stop, and you respect the law. And this is just a complete and total lack of respect across the board now. And what I've loved is I've started to see commercials and billboards where it's all Christian lives matter, all faiths matter. It's not a race, it's not a culture, it's all of God's children matter. And at some point it has to spread like that.
Right.
Because otherwise we're going to continue to have things like this where complete disrespect continues to trounce our American dream. And that is that we could come to a country and have freedom of religion, and have the ability to.
And that's a scary thought. What you just said, JP, when you take away the opportunity to have the American dream, what do we have left? Oh, we don't have anything left.
Move to Costa Rica.
Yeah, I mean, yes, sell sunscreen on the beach, which, okay. Well,
I want to have a hot dog stand and a margarita stand.
Can I do a Fletcher's Corny Dog stand
Sure,
there? Okay,
sure.
it'll be next to your margarita stand. We'll make a killing.
Killing.
We'll make a killing.
We'll deliver hot dogs on a beach.
You know, and I was really excited to be on Point of View radio show on Monday and kick off their Truth Team Week. And one of the things that Kirby Anderson and I talked about was the fact that this goes down to, and this comes back to something you continue to say, JP, and I want you to keep preaching it, my friend, and that is what has happened, that it's okay for people to not just disagree with or show disrespect, but be blatantly ugly, violent, cruel, and vile to people in authority, such as police officers. And I get it. Yeah, are there places where we need police reform? You bet your bippy. There is in every walk of life, so, and we've never said there wasn't. But it goes down to a blatant disrespect for life, period. And I'm talking about from the pro-life movement to how we treat our elderly and everything in between. And if you feel like it's okay to, I wouldn't, golly, I can't imagine a person's face who I would yell and spit at and cuss at.
Right.
Because
Ever.
I was just, I mean, weren't you just taught you don't treat human beings like that?
And it's about
it's
the most
reverence for
fundamental
life.
thing, you know, that's the primary, that's the first thing in the Constitution. We have a right to life.
Right.
And you both know that I believe from conception till natural death.
Amen. Yeah.
And I'm actually not, I'm against the death penalty. We have in this time the ability to incarcerate people without having to worry about that. Now, does the government have the right to instill the death penalty? Yes, they do. But I don't believe it's necessary at this time in our
Well, that's a whole
world.
other
Well,
topic
that's
for a
not a
whole
topic.
nother
Right.
day.
That goes on.
Right.
Yeah.
And I disagree
Yeah,
with you, but that's
how-
okay.
As you can tell, JP and
That's
I
how I am. I'm
JP,
I got
we
you.
love you,
I
but
got
JP
you.
and I are going to disagree with you on that. And that is a good topic for another day. But,
It is.
JP, Elizabeth said, she said, I was typing that as JP said it. It's about respect in all capitals and parents teaching it.
Right. Because that's
You
where it's got to be
know.
instilled.
And let's, I know we're getting ready to wrap up, but you know, you were a JP for years. If there's a situation, and I've told my kids this since they were young, if a teacher, if your boss, if a police officer tell you, go with what they say, and then there's a process in which if you don't agree with somebody, you fight that later. And that's it with police officers. That's the justice system. And everybody has you hear that their day in court. Well, you do. The time to fight that is not when you're pulled over for speeding,
Right.
you know, or when you're stopped committing a petty crime or something. And then that's why it just makes me crazy that the NFL, you know, they're putting names of people on their helmets who were killed by police officers, but there's no backstory. Well, the backstory is some of these people are rapists and murderers. When did we start glorifying criminals?
Right. Yeah. Well,
What
we
the
do.
heck, man?
We do today. It's a party. Tell you where else is a part of the NFL, and I do want to close up with this. I don't know, Kathy, if you've been catching any of the commentary from the commentators about sports, about the NFL.
I know where you're going with this.
Well, I'm going a lot of places. First and foremost is the hammering of Black Lives Matter, this unity national anthem. You know, and Sports Illustrated is covering that right now. They put out an article today, in fact, in regards to, has Goodell made the right choice, or is the NFL just blowing with the wind? And right now, it's the fan reaction to a moment of unity has not been good.
No.
It has come back
no.
extremely negative.
Did you just say blow wind?
blowing in the wind.
That sounds like what they're doing.
Now, careful, because Gail will jump on that.
Unintended. Yes, Gail will jump on
Gail
that.
will jump
She's
on the
good
blow
though.
in the wind kind of stuff. She's got the right stuff for that deal. But
We love you, Gail.
we do. But the bottom line is that the fan base is not for this.
No.
Because it's becoming a charade of just lies to hide the fact that it is communism, it is Marxism, trying to form. If you look back through history and go on YouTube, there are plenty of 1950s, 1960s commentary shows talking about this is how communist Russia wants to take over the United States, communist China. Back then they were saying exactly what they're saying now. Of course, they use different terms for black people.
But it's literally a page out of the playbook.
And I'm not talking about the bad word. I'm just talking about they use other terms for that era. But it's the same thing, and this time social media now has it, and they're running with it. But the NFL fan base not buying it. Looks like the NFL could be in for a very, very painful season if they don't figure it out real quick. And I will give credit to the Kansas City Chiefs. I know that Michelle will appreciate this. Only one player took a knee and stuck their fist up in the air. The rest of them stood, and some of them, a good majority of them, stood with their hands over their heart while the national anthem played.
Okay, I didn't get to see their opener. Okay,
I didn't either. I read about it.
Gotcha.
And so I'm one of those not watching the NFL this year.
Yeah, well, you didn't turn it on at all on Sunday.
I did not.
And we had, and again, I'm going to go back to, the member of the crew who I spoke with who said, Kathy, I was just so disgusted by all these political statements and all these, everybody has to prove a point. He said, I was just tuning in because I missed football and ended up tuning back out. And when you start, I'm telling you,
it just makes my blood boil.
You have to know who your audience is.
I don't need that. I need to relax and
I don't want
and I need to be positive.
Yeah.
I need to be a positive person experience. Try to be positive to people, and
you
there's just so much out there that the news and the media just keep pounding, and I'm just done with that.
Well, they kept cutting it back to a sign that was in the Kansas-Missouri border of Black Lives Matter into the game.
And so, what has a sign ever been put in during a game? I don't care what the signage on the road is. I just want to see X's and O's.
Yeah, I don't believe so. Players kneeling, players not coming out for the national anthem, and so it's like the Pittsburgh Steelers. I will not ever be a fan again. And
I
it's
never
like,
was, but
but I'm just saying
that's from Dallas Cowboys.
That was
back
my
in the
team,
70s. Yeah.
And I do not at all mind, and I really truly do not, standing and taking your fist and punching it into the air.
See, now to me, that's a big Black Panther sign.
No, that's Jesse Owens.
No, Jesse Owens actually did a salute.
Well, but he also put his fist up.
Oh, see, I don't remember. I didn't see that. But I my thing is, you're there you're getting paid tons of money. And you know something I want us to look into, and this is something that we haven't even, I don't know if we've even talked about this on the show. Why aren't these players, JP, taking a stand against the slave, labors and wages that are going on, that are making their T-shirts over in other countries?
No.
Why aren't we complaining about slavery conditions currently going on with human beings? But guess what? Because there's a profit off that.
Right. That's correct.
It's all about money. Well, then it's going to be all about money when people aren't buying those shirts. When people, and especially at a time when people are having to make hard decisions about where they spend their money. You know what? Do you think any of the members of the crew are going to be going out and just busting down the doors to buy an NFL jersey?
No, I do not.
No. I just, well, and the crew is saying, and of course Gail did say "love it" to the blow wind.
Shit. Will you bring my screen up, Charles? Please, if you would.
Yeah.
So there's the salute that Kathy's talking about, which absolutely did happen. But then also, this is from the New York Public Library, by the way, when he gets it up on my screen. My point is, though, I stand for the national anthem. You want to put your fist up in protest. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with you taking a knee. I have a problem with you not coming out and respecting it. I have a problem with that.
I have a problem, and I this is something I had to get over a few years ago. I've had a problem with if a player doesn't put their hand over their heart. I mean, I don't know. I mean, when I hear the national anthem, when I say the pledge, that's like. Isn't that just an automatic? And again, I'm preaching to the choir with you, but
right.
It's one of those things where you put your hand over your heart. I don't, it's like we've let so many things slide over the years that we're to a point now where we're just normal Joe public doesn't have a say so anymore.
Right.
And you know what? And not only we don't have a say so, we're branded a racist.
Yeah. Absolutely. And thanks, Chuck, for putting that image up for me. So the bottom line is this, is that it's interesting. The fan base is falling away from the NFL. They're tired of it being stuffed down their throat. Football players, fans, they want to watch football. They don't want this political messaging stuck down their throat.
I want to be entertained. I want escapism.
Right. I mean, and I love it. I mean, I love the fact that we live in a country where someone can not graduate college, if they're athletically talented, go and make millions of dollars and become a millionaire.
That's great.
But we're going to whine and cry.
No.
And it's like, you're killing me here.
No,
you're just killing me.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Now, on the football side of things, it was interesting. I'm listening to the commentators, right? Because there's no preseason. And so they're jumping into the first game. And it is hilarious to listen to them talk about who's going to be in the Super Bowl, who's going to make the playoffs, and who's not going to make the playoffs after game one.
Right.
I mean, it's like, okay, this team is in terrible trouble. They're never going to make it past game 2. It's like, dude, there's more than one game in the season.
Exactly.
And so I thought that was kind of funny.
It
So
really
much
is.
doom and gloom after
Like-
game 1.
It's like a rim shot.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, oh, goodness gracious. If you lost the San Francisco 49ers, they're doomed. The Dallas Cowboys, they're doomed. Tom Brady, he needs to retire.
Everyone that's 0-1, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just
yeah,
like,
everybody's like, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, your season's over.
Season's over.
yeah, game 1.
Well, what was the thing? You used to complain about this. This was last football season, I think, or was it during March Madness? No, I think it was during football season, JP. Remember you were saying, like, well, it wasn't that big of a win. Remember when it was like, unless you won by 21 points in a football game, well, I mean, it wasn't that big of a win. A win's a win. If you win by 1
Right.
point, you're still the winner.
But I enjoy that, though. That's kind of fun. I like doing
Yeah,
that.
that's fun to gripe about.
Right. I love to gripe about that stuff.
But the
So-
political nonsense, I don't want it. I don't want it during my sports. I'll be anxious to see what the NFL, and I don't even know that I'll be tuning in on Sunday. I really just don't think I
will
will.
not.
I
I'm going to get
just-
with our commissioner on our paper
little
football league.
Paper football.
Flick.
Little flick
sound,
flick
paper
sound.
football.
I mean, I want a jersey. I think I'm going to create a jersey for my team. I'm going to be showing up, that's for sure. All right.
All right,
Hey,
I want the beer sponsors. Right?
Right. Want to thank everybody for joining in with us this morning here at JP, Kathy, and the crew. Remember, go to our link tree. We have it right up there. Look at there. I'm pointing up. Click on it. Subscribe to us at YouTube. Subscribe to us on Twitch. We appreciate it. Share with your friends. Spread the word. Get the word out if you like our guests, if you enjoy our content, and just our overall goofiness.
And
we enjoy you.
Everybody liked our guests today. We had some
They
great
did.
guests
We had
today.
great guests, and
and
we
we
got
got
some
great
on Friday.
guests on Friday. Yeah.
And then we're going to try to run Randy Travis again at our rebroadcast.
Are we out of
rebroadcast.
control?
Yeah, we'll try to get that.
At 11:30.
We're rebels.
Don't forget, Thursday, tune into the JP, Kathy, and the Crew Network from 10 to 11. You'll have Brunch with Ben from 12 to 1, the Lawyer Show with Jeremy
Yeah.
Rosenthal. And you never have any idea what he's going to say. And then don't forget to tune in for the
Yep.
debut
Yes.
of our very own SNL type format
Like
show.
what are they? The
at-
Punchline
The
Players?
Punchline Players
Creative Arts for Christ.
at 7
Yeah.
p.m. Thursday night, and then
Can't
Sunday,
wait.
tune in for Dr. Good at Ask Dr. Be Good from
Yep.
8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We're JP, Kathy, and the
Good
crew.
stuff.
We are signing off. We'll see you on Friday. God bless you.
Have a blessed day. Love y'all.